Hello and welcome back to Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy. This is a bonus episode today. So if you are listening to this is a bonus episode and your eyebrows look amazing right now. I'm jealous.
Thank you. I was literally thinking that because that one time I was like, I didn't do my eyebrows and yours looked really good. I'm like, I need to
Yeah,
do my eyebrows.
yeah. I'm
And
obsessed.
I think this left side, for some reason, it's like not as thick and voluminous as my right side. It's finally growing in. So we're getting there.
Have you have you done anything different? Because I know you're like very into like the regrowth of your hair, like you're putting the rosemary oil on, all that sort of stuff. Have you done
Mhm.
anything for your eyebrows? Or is it just you haven't plucked them or anything?
Yes. So stop plucking them like a crazy person like we all did in middle school. And then I haven't been making the rosemary water because I'm just not home. It's just, more work. But I do use the rosemary oil and I try to do it at least 3 times a week. And literally I just take like a drop of the oil that I mix myself and then just put it on my brows like 15 seconds, rub it in lightly, and then I leave it on for up to 4 hours and then I just wash it off.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing because I've seen this guy on TikTok who was like regrowing his hair. Like he had really like severe receding hairline, very thin hair, and he shaved it for a while, but then he was like, "Let me try and like regrow this. Like let's see what we can do." And everybody in the comments for the first couple of months was like, "It's not working, just shave it. Like it looks awful." And I'm like, "Okay, rude." It's been like 6 months or 9 months or whatever, and his regrowth is insane. And like one thing he uses is like the rosemary oil. He does like whole bunch of stuff. And I think it's also a sleigh for like a masculine guy. Like he's the type of guy who's going to the gym, he looks buff to like
Mhm.
show how dedicated he is to like his self-care and like
Mhm.
growing his confidence back. I'm like, hell yeah. And like his regrowth is like insane. Like it looks awesome. So like I think I like you started talking about rosemary oil at the same time as like I saw him doing it. And I was like, oh shit, like this really works.
Yeah, yeah. I need to do a like my rosemary oil like routine. And then I wanted to do like my face routine too because I use frownies. And side note, I'm gonna be an ambassador
Yes.
for
Oh
frownies.
shit.
I know. It's like not
Slay.
you sign up, it's really nothing. I'm not
Oh,
special.
okay. You
But
are special.
it's a special. But I feel like those also work. That's a whole nother thing I go down. But yeah, but it's pretty easy. I love I like there's a ton you can't see them here, but even these little baby hairs and a ton of hairs here have all regrown from rosemary oil. So it is really, really good, but you can obviously overdo it and cause your hair to fall out more. So you can't just take rosemary oil and just on your head. You have to use a carrier oil with it. And also like protect your hair. Like I don't put
Yeah.
heat on my hair without heat protectant.
Hmm.
I'm really careful about that. I use good quality stuff. But yeah, that dude, I do creep on him from time to time. Yeah, he has a lot of regrowth in his hair,
Yeah.
but he's also doing like 500 different things. Like I'm
Yeah.
just doing rosemary water and rosemary oil, and that takes too much time already.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I love his little like get ready with me or like going to bed.
Uh,
Obviously I find the video and the routine itself like just very relaxing. But it is for sure a commitment.
yeah.
Like similarly the way that like if you want to actually lose weight and keep it off, that is a long-term commitment. Like I guess, have you ever like taken, or when you were young, when I was younger, I took biotin because I was like, oh my God, that's amazing for the hair. Like it's great for the skin, like all this sort of shit.
Mhm.
Cause I had really bad acne and then I had pretty bad acne scars. So it was like biotin, biotin, biotin. I mean, didn't even know what I was taking. And I was like, oh, this is the quick fix. This is going to be it. And it did
Mhm.
nothing. And then I
Uh-huh.
would do like different oil treatments for like helping with acne scars, all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure it would have worked over time, but I was not getting that like instant hit of like,
Mhm.
this is working. So I
Mhm.
think when we're focusing on like healing acne or regrowing hair, like if we can put the same level of commitment like that we do with that into like our health in general, a lot of us would probably be a lot happier because we'd actually like reach that end goal versus like just trying to have that like instant gratification hit.
But it's just like takes time. Like
It
I
does.
didn't I didn't start seeing any regrowth in my hair for like, and granted, I thankfully have a lot of hair, like happy, but I want to keep having a lot of hair. And as you age, you lose here. And a lot of this is like new baby hair. So that's
Yeah,
awesome. But it takes time. It took like
totally.
3 months to start seeing anything, any little baby hairs growing. So it takes time, just like you're not going to see like where is that not where, but what is that one meme where it's like I ate a salad and I didn't reach my goal yet.
Literally. I had a sesame chicken salad last night and
Mm.
my brain went, it was bomb. And my brain went to, you know, years ago or in my college years, high school years, I would have gotten the salad because that would have been the gateway to seeing results. And I'm going to wake up and I'm going to feel so skinny and blah, 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 blah. Had the salad just because it's what I wanted because
Yeah.
we were on the road for like 5.5 hours. We had gotten Chipotle because there was like no food at my parents' house. And then I was like, fuck it. Like we have to order out again, which is fine. But I'm gonna opt for the salad, get some greens in, get the chicken, all that sort of stuff. Funny enough, what happened? I woke up on a scale like a pound heavier because I was in the car all day. I got my workout, I got my steps in, but like didn't drink enough water. And it's just funny because like that old mindset of like, oh, I'll have a salad because it's gonna, gonna make me lose weight, it's gonna keep me skinny, all that sort of stuff. Um, and it's just like, no, like, yeah, it's good. You're getting greens, get protein, but like, I love that meme of like the salad not working overnight. And it's just like so real. Like who branded salad as like the healthy thing? We need to like find them.
I don't know. It needs a rebrand because like
It needs a rebrand.
I love a crunchy like yeah, my aunt makes salad like we have it like every night, but they add little pieces of chopped up pears or apples or like cranberries. I'm like, oh, it is like crack. It is so good. I'm like, I'm never eating my salad without little pieces of fruit in it ever again. My
Yeah.
mouth just watered talking about that. I'm not
That's when
hungry
you
right now.
know.
I know. But yeah, I love salad. Like I love making like sometimes I'll make like a huge salad and then I'll put like a protein in it. I'll add some rice to it, add some beans to it, and now it's like a salad bowl. Like I just wanted Chipotle. Like easy. You got your greens, your protein, your carbs, like your fat with your oil or avocado. Like it's perfect.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because like the rebrand of a salad, it's most people go into it, this is the healthier option. But if you're at a restaurant or you order salad, whatever, if it has all the fancy stuff, you got your goat cheese, you got different dressings, almonds, all that sort of stuff, it's not bad, but you're going in thinking this is the low calorie option when
Yep.
you probably could have got something else if you wanted it. Um,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
why, like, let's rebrand salad to just be like it's like any other meal. You can make any meal lower
Yes.
calorie or higher calorie, whatever you add to it. But like, let's just look at it as like, if you're in the mood for a salad, eat a salad. Don't do it because you think you have to.
Yeah, like we went to some restaurant and it was an Italian restaurant. Not that great, let's be honest. We're in Mexico right now. It wasn't great. It was like the equivalence of like Olive Garden if I would have to
Oh
guess.
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, we oh, I'm like, what the heck am I gonna eat? Like for keeping you guys posted, like I can't do gluten, I can't do dairy, not because like it's healthier, but because I'm working on getting through an autoimmune disease. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna eat? So I'm looking at the enchiladas and I'm looking like, oh, okay, there's a good one. Like I can get it without goat cheese, even though goat cheese is lower in lactose. I'm just trying to avoid all dairy.
Yeah,
It had sliced almonds on it. It had, I think I got shrimp with it. But if you got the salad as if you got the salad as is, normal size, all the fixings on it, 550 calories. And then
yeah,
I'm like looking at the other meals and there was like a pasta dish, like 600 calories. Like it is no different. And like you said, it's
right.
really no different because when you add the cheese, the olive oil or whatever oil they're using, all the other stuff, like it adds up. So when you go to a restaurant, you're thinking, oh, this is the healthier option. Like it's really just about the same. You're just getting your calories from a salad, most likely from fat, compared to a pasta dish, most likely from carbs.
Yeah, and it's not to say that like one is necessarily like better than the other. It's just about like being aware, right? Because like again, if you're craving a salad and you want all the goat cheese and the nuts and like you're craving like those fats, like a watermelon feta arugula salad
Oh, crack.
is my everything. And like to be honest, I don't really want to put a protein in there. Like I will have the protein on the side because
Oh, okay.
like I'll have like I'll get chicken or something and I'll do it on
Mhm.
the side because like those flavor combinations are just everything. Like you put a little mint in there, it's everything. But I'm
Mhm.
aware, like I'm knowledgeable. There's no protein in the salad. Like maybe a little bit from the cheese. So if I want this because I truly want this, how can I fill the gap? So I'll get some grilled chicken on the side, or if I'm making it at my house, whatever. But it's just being aware of your food and like, especially if you're going to like a chain restaurant, like Olive Garden, Cheesecake Factory, or like a mom and pop place. Like the salads are gonna be pretty similar to
Yeah.
another dish. So if you want the other dish, like go into it, kind of like listen to your body because if you end up I feel like this is something I used to struggle with a lot to reach my goals. I would just get the salad because I'm like, oh, it's healthier, but I'd still be
Mhm.
hungry. I would
Mhm.
not have satisfied my craving, and then I would
Mhm.
end up like elbow deep in
Something
something
else.
else because
Yeah.
I didn't honor what my body wanted, and
Yeah.
it was just because this is how I reach my goals.
Yeah.
Which is like it's so frustrating because you're like, I'm trying to do the right thing, but I'm fucking starving. Like, what do I actually do?
Mhm. What's your go-to when you go to a restaurant? Like, what do you like go to order typically? Like, let's say if you are like, I don't like to say like I'm having a cheat meal, right? Because I don't live
Oh,
my life like that anymore. Like I definitely used to. I
definitely,
live it
definitely.
I live it more like, I will have like untracked meals where I am just going in and enjoying the experience and
Yeah,
trying something like when we were in Italy, like that those are majority of my meals. I was just enjoying things. Like a flashback to this al dente pasta. It was the most al dente pasta I've ever had in my life because Italy. And it had first time having this shaved, fresh truffles. Let me tell you, if it was like
stop it right this second. That sounds
if
amazing.
if it was socially acceptable, I would have been licking, like, licking the plate. It was so good. Never have I ever had truffles. Never have I ever
Sounds
had it with
amazing.
pasta. Do you think I was like, I wonder how much fat and calories are in here? No, I was enjoying it, and I don't think they were like smaller portions. Pretty sure I ate the whole thing. But
Yeah.
I'll have meals where I'm just enjoying it, and then I'll have meals of like, okay, like this isn't like this is like, oh, I have to go out to eat because we're out and starving, and I still want to like hit my goals for the day, make
Yeah.
sure I'm eating, make sure I'm not having every meal where I'm just eating with my eyes. So like, what do you go
Yes.
for?
Well, first, I love that uh statement you put out there. Like, I can go to dinner and I can enjoy myself and not track it and not worry about the calories and just like listen to my hunger cues. I don't have to eat the whole
Mhm,
plate if I don't want it. But then
mhm,
also being an adult and like if you're on vacation or you're like a couple of years ago or a year ago, whatever, our plumbing was out in the house we rent. Our landlords were out of the country. We couldn't barely use the
oh.
bathroom. Like the basement was flooding with disgusting. I'm going to this is
Oh,
disgusting with poop and
no, your poop.
piss. Yeah. And like we live in a duplex right now. So like our neighbors, like we somehow their water, because they don't have a basement, it was like emptying into ours or something. It was foul. All of a sudden, I'm literally on a client call and I hear like something sound like it burst. I'm like, James! He goes into the basement. He's like, there's literally shit coming out of like a pipe. And I'm like, gross. So for that duration of time, we had a lot of meals out because we couldn't do the dishes barely. They were like, use as little water as possible. So that's like, okay, bathroom and wash your hands. Like, I'm not trying to do anything else really to make it worse. So in that moment, I had to be real. And I'm like, okay, this isn't like we're going out and enjoying. This is like we have to eat out because of the situation. So I'm going to make better choices. I enjoy like 99% of the food I eat. I rarely am sitting there eating like, I'm just eating this to like reach my goals, because even if it's
Same.
like a healthier dish, I make it so that it has good flavor. It's satisfying to me. So if I'm going out and I'm just wanting to indulge, like we went to this place in by Killington in Vermont. We It was called The Garlic. So it's an Italian restaurant. Everything
Ooh.
is like so fresh, so
Oh,
like homemade. So I got the uh it was a gluten, because they had gluten-free pasta. I have to eat that. But it was a penny vodka. And I did not
um,
want chicken in it. Again, I'm like, I just want to enjoy the pasta. I'll always get it on the side. Like, I want every mouthful. If I'm eating the pasta and I'm really like, it's a good pasta, I just want it to be the pasta and the cheese and all. And it had some, I got tomatoes in it and broccoli. And then I
mhm.
want the chicken on the side. Like, if I'm eating delicious pasta, I just want the pasta in my mouth at once. And then I'll have the chicken. Um, I'm normally not weird about my food mixing, but if it's like a delicious pasta, I just want to like savor that pasta. So that's what I got. The bowl was fucking huge. I
Mm.
ate basically all of my chicken first because I'm like, let's get the protein in our body. I know I need this, but I'm going to have my pasta and enjoy it. I stopped when I was full. There was definitely a fuck ton of calories in this pasta, but
Mhm.
I just took the rest home and I ended up having it for like 2 other meals.
Wow.
And didn't feel bad about it, didn't think twice about it, listened to my body. When I was full, I said, okay, all right, we'll bring it home, no problem. And so if I'm like really wanting to just not care and enjoy, I'm probably going for like Italian food, because everything
Mhm.
else is pretty easily trackable. Like tacos,
Mhm.
pretty easy. Sushi, pretty easy. It's not
Ah,
going to be
sushi.
perfect. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but it's easier than you trying to sit there and be like, I'm at this mom and pop place and I got some pasta and how much did I eat? And there's definitely a lot of fat or whatever. So that's normally my go-to. And I will always get a protein, but sometimes my toddler self does not want to mix it. And James like laughs at me because he's like, why are you getting it on the side? And I'm like, because it's gonna ruin the moment. Like, this penny vodka was the moment, and it was everything. And the amount of, literally they brought to you a clove of, like a big ass clove of garlic roasted, and they
Uh,
go, okay, this is how we recommend you eat it, this is how we serve it, and they like smashed it the whole thing. I was like, I want to
uh,
lick this garlic off the plate just the same way as you were wanting to lick the truffle.
Garlic and I have such a good relationship. Like I could just eat cloves and cloves and cloves of garlic a day. My husband's the same way, so it works out fine for the smell.
Yes, yes. We
um,
are garlic girls.
yes. Have you ever seen like sidebar, side moment here? I've been seeing it a lot on TikTok. It is what would you call it? Cold flu prevention, where you
I feel
take
like I
honey,
know what,
local,
yeah, I feel like I know what you're about to say.
a jar of local honey, and then you put in like so many cloves of garlic, and you take like a scoop of that a day. I want to try that just because like right now I have a cold, so that's really annoying. Um, but also I'm like worried it would like ruin honey for me if it tastes like garlicky. So I don't know. I think I might try it, see what happens because my husband works with people. I do not. I work like this. So I'm like not exposed as much to people as he is. So I'm like trying to like
Literally.
not get sick this season pretty much. I mean, I already am, but I'm not in the country, so that's fine.
I would I would try it, but I feel like it would be horrendous. But I'm pretty much willing to try anything once.
Mhm.
Um, So, because garlic, like I didn't think that's what you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say is there's videos of
Oh,
TikTok where people will put a clove of garlic up their nose, and
not
like
that.
if you're very congested, it's supposed to like because it's pretty kind of like if it's a raw piece of garlic, like it kind of burns, it
Yeah.
stinks. It's like ginger, it's intense. So it's
Mhm.
supposed to like open up your sinuses and like people, it's disgusting. People like pull it out and there's just like snot. I'm like, why am I watching this? But
Uh,
also like
you're
if I'm
intrigued.
congested, I might try that. But I mean, I don't know. Like I would try it if I was like if I had like a shitty scent of time where I'm like, I keep getting sick, I would try it. I would
Another
try it.
side note, because it's funny and we haven't talked about this. So we went, this was, when was this? I think like one of our last days in the city, and I had to get dinner out because whole car situation happened. Did I tell this story already?
With the spicy chili or the
Yeah.
soy sauce. Yeah, 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 you did.
That, wow, my brain is not functioning. So yeah, that story was
Well,
funny.
you're like, I don't know what time is because you've been on vacation for 3 weeks
I know.
and you're living your best life. So what is time? Like it
Yeah, and time is nothing. Oh, okay. Here's a different story. Funny, similar. We were in this little mountain town, like literally in the mountains. We were going to
love
go
it.
see the pyramids, but they were like an hour walk away. No one found that out till we got there, so we didn't go. But we got lunch at this little restaurant, and they were literally cooking each dish individually. That was fun, meaning each person at the dinner, six of
Yeah,
us, one person, then one. So we were all eating at different times. So that was a little bit odd. I guess it's just the way they do it when you're like in a small mountain town.
right.
But anyway, right. I got this, it was like a tortilla and it came with um like a refried bean thing, and it had a couple of different meats on it, like one was chorizo, one was something else. It was good. However, the tortilla was like this weird in between of like
Oh yeah, you
cooked.
posted about that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was like a weird in between of like cooked and like a fresh tortilla. My jaw hurt so bad. I only got like a quarter of the way through chewing it. I was like, my jaw is literally killing me. That's how freaking bad it, like the texture was so weird. So I asked for a cup of rice because like I need some carbs.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's like the worst when you order something and you're excited and you're like, oh, it's gonna be so good. And then it
Yeah.
was like literally like my aunt got it too, and she was like, that tortilla was not good. It was not. It was just like soggy. I don't know, because all the food was on top. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right. Yeah.
it, it was like I was expecting like a crunch, and there was no crunch.
Oh, that is awful. Especially this what I would hate when I was more like restrictive. You would track everything to a T, and then the
Yep.
food you got was like fucking nasty. But you're like, oh, I tracked it and it's gonna be perfect. So I'm eating
Yeah.
it. And it was like legit nasty. Now I'm not going to play that game. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I tracked it and it's fucked up, but like we're just gonna like regroup because
Yep.
that's also, I think part of having like a healthy relationship with food and reaching your goals. Like
Yep.
being okay with like if you track a whole plate of food and not finishing it and like not stressing
Yes.
about it.
Yep.
Or if you didn't like something and switching, like the best way to reach your goals is really being flexible. And
Yes.
what were some of the things growing up, like in high school, in college, that were like really top of mind for you as far as your goals? Because obviously
Mhm.
now we still set goals, but we do it in a way that it's thought out. We are not focusing on like any sort of quick timeline. Like we look at it in
Mhm.
a very different light. And so it's
Mhm.
interesting to see like what little Maddie and little Allie were like doing
Oh.
to like what goals did we care about? Because now, I mean, I don't know about you, but I can say that like I am not influenced by what others are doing. Like it's what about what's going to make me happy. But
Mhm.
younger me, I only cared about what was like what was the trend.
Uh-huh. Yeah, younger me was toxic AF, like bad. I was like, well, okay. put this in
Well, it's a
perspective.
good thing that younger us didn't know each other because we would have just been toxic together.
Yes, 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 yes. I had a really, really good friend, RIP, not because she's dead, but because she ghosted me.
I am gagged. I thought you were about to say like RIP my bestie, like love you.
No, no. Well, like I said, one day I would talk about it. It's still not today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reached out, left me on red. I'm still butthurt about that. I'm like, I saw sidebar. I saw like a funny thing, like what's a girl's Roman Empire? Like thinking about the best friend that ghosted them. Like, yep, that's me.
Like
Anyway,
my timeline is
yes.
too on point.
Yeah, literally. But so when I was in gymnastics, like it was still very much like being small, being, you need to be smaller. Mind you, I was like the tallest one in gymnastics, so I already had that not
Yeah.
helping my situation. And all my teammates were way stronger than me and way smaller than me. So like I just always wanted to be smaller like them. And that stemmed even from like childhood. So like I have distinct memories of like my goal, thigh gap, achieve a thigh gap, thighs will not touch. I'm gonna look so skinny in my leotard. Like that was the way my mind was. And you can guess that that led to me like I remember tracking in my fitness pal. You're gonna be like, what? Okay. Gymnastics practice, teenager, track practice, 500 calories. I'm like, how low? And I remember like one of my lunches was was like the worst lettuce where it's literally just water, has like no like flavor
Like
to it.
the green, just like crunchy, like light green
Like
crunchy.
romaine. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just like it's almost like see-through.
yeah.
And
You're
I
like,
was
this is just like fluff. Like, yeah.
yes. Yeah, it was like romaine lettuce, like chicken with like nothing on it, like no seasoning and like fat-free like dressing. Like that was like my lunch, like literally. And I would, if I hit like only 500 calories, I was like, yes. And if I brought like, a bag of grapes with me, if I ate less than was actually in there, I was like, yes, winning. Like that was how I would say like my like health goals, fitness goals, that's how they started. Like
Yeah.
so superficial, so unhealthy. Like it's just so crazy to look back. Like that was when I was what? Probably that was probably happening the most when I was like 12 to I don't know, I'd say 16 and 17, like a good 4 years of struggling hard. What
Yeah.
were your goals?
Well, I think also it's important to like, recognize that that is a really hard place for like young women to like be in. Like you're on, you're competing against all these other women and you're all wearing, as little clothes as possible. We're focusing on being
Literally.
strong, but also small. And it's intense. So like that is it's not surprising to me, but it doesn't make it less sad because it's just like the culture of like, I need to be strong, but small. I need to, I'm wearing barely no clothes. So I need to feel my best. But to be strong, you need to eat, and strong and small don't normally go together. So it's a lot for like a preteen, a teenager to like be so concerned about and like where that is such a competitive nature. Probably a lot
Mhm.
of the girls you were around were like doing similar things, and so it's just like it's normal. And
Mhm.
that's hard. And yeah, I mean, I think similarly it was a lot of rules that I had. um
Mhm.
no eating after a certain time, or
Mhm.
if I ate like a big lunch, then I'm gonna have a smaller dinner. And buying like kind of like diet foods for like desserts and that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and being okay with being hungry because that meant that like
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was strong enough to not eat or indulge, and the reality of it is like, well, that helps nothing. Or like feeling proud of myself, like if I ate a lot of food and then purged, like being like, wow, like you know what, that was really, you did a good thing there. And it's so
Mhm.
so fucked up because it's like we were taking in everything that we were seeing, whether it was like through 17 magazine, and like the
Mhm,
thigh gap was everything. Like I
mhm,
remember one of my friends like posted a picture and like thigh gap was like there. And she's like just tiny by like not even like trying, like just a tinier
mhm.
figure. Um, and I was like, oh my God, that is gold. Like, how can I get that thigh gap? And like
Yep,
it was just it's never gonna be like crazy attainable because like I just have a different build and like I'm really gonna have to struggle to place of like oh the thigh gap and it was just such a I don't know if you felt like this like it was just a competition with every other woman that
yep.
you were around and this feeling of pride when you did something more extreme because it's like well nobody else is doing this and I'm doing
Yep.
it and like wearing it like a badge of honor which is part of the reason why as a mom, I'm grateful that I experienced some of the things that I did so that I can
When did you have a baby?
yeah, I know, right? When did you have babies? That was funny. I realized as I was saying that that like it sounds like, but like when
As a
um
future mom.
I just want to be able to like kind of see signs and just like be a really safe
Yeah.
space of like like we need to nourish our bodies and this is how we can do it and like man like also going through puberty I mean like when you were in that you know restrictive era like did you lose your period was it like crazy irregular like what happened there because that also something that like we would be like oh it's a good thing like now I don't have to deal with that.
Oh my God. The amount of sidebar, the amount of girls I was talking about getting my IUD out, they're like, oh, just get the Marina. I don't have a period anymore.
um
Wrong.
I
Like,
know so many people that got pregnant on Mirena because like it would fall out
oh,
and it's
that
like
that
it's
is,
like this right
I had no idea.
I
That is
yeah
like,
like
I
I
mean,
literally
I guess I wouldn't say getting pregnant is the least of your worries with Marina, but it's like tough. It is tough on your body, and not getting your period is not a good thing. Like
right
in the bleed you get when you are like if you're on like the pill, it is not a period bleed. It's a fake bleed. It's just a
yeah
placebo bleed. Sidebar. Anyway, back to the other part. My period was so bad. Like I was going to the doctor, like, why am I not? And literally, oh, maybe it was because I was like 105 pounds at 5'5". Do you
yeah
think that was healthy?
yeah.
No,
You could
not at
blow over.
all. Literally, I could like I was like
Yeah.
so stick. I mean, I already don't like really have boobs, but I really didn't have boobs. And like, I don't even know how I was getting through practice. Like, we had 4-hour gymnastic practices, 4 hours at a time. Now, granted, we had a break and you're not moving for 4 hours consistently. You're standing here and there, but still, like, it's no
I think
wonder I
you
struggled to get
you
stronger.
just got used to it, like,
Yeah.
and kind of embracing the struggle, right? Like it's
Yeah.
that's intense. And yeah, I remember going to the doctor and like my period was irregular. So like my doctor was like, "Oh, we'll just put you on birth control." And I'm like, looking
Yep.
back, I'm like, the fuck, the fuck, that's not doing anything. And
Yeah.
yeah, like it's just such a as a young woman, it's just like little band-aid things and like nothing is really a
Literally.
problem. It's like, it's okay. Oh, you're getting your period, it's okay. Like just okay, just take a pill, you're fine. And like
I
I'm
know.
not anti-birth control. Like I'm not on birth control because like it literally made me
Same.
insane. Like it was not good for the mental health. Um, so I'm not anti-birth control, but I think like that is not the solution when we're having irregular periods or things like that. And
Yes.
you know, I know for
Yes.
certain, you know, like endometriosis for some people that have it, like birth control is really helpful. So that's great. But like as a young little person, like no period, birth control is not the solution. And I wish like I could have or had a doctor that like kind of maybe looked a little deeper to be like, what's going on here? But
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree
crazy.
with you. Like, I'm not anti-birth control, but heavy butt here. The more I learn and work with clients who were diagnosed most likely with endo or other
Yeah.
things, the more I'm like, again, the Band-Aid method, like
Yeah.
you she has these symptoms because she has high estrogen. Let's figure out why she has high estrogen. Doctors aren't doing that. Like they are
No.
not doing that. And it's like literally just making it worse. Like if you have high estrogen and then you get on Mirena, guess what? You got even higher estrogen. And this is why I would love like future casting here. If we could get on Dr. Jolene Brighton, we are way too
Mhm.
small to have her on. You probably know who I'm talking about. She is amazing. Wrote a really
Yes.
good book, The Period Repair Manual. Wait, just kidding. But no, that's another one. That's a different doctor. That's Lara Brighton, I think. Jolene Brighton. What book does she write? Why can't I
I
remember it?
I don't know the name, but when it was like coming out, I saw it everywhere.
I literally have it in my office. I'm forgetting the name. We'll put it
Yeah.
below. But anyway, love to have her on and talk about just like anything having to do with birth control because she's a wealth of knowledge. But it just sucks that like they just put women on that, like, here you go, like that's gonna fix your issues. Like, no, you just made her body even worse, depleted
Right.
her of zinc, depleted her of vitamin B, like yada yada yada, the list goes on. But what I was going to ask you is now that we both, I would hope you too, I'm pretty sure you too, have kind of gotten through like what our first goals were. Like mine very much were, okay, let's get a thigh gap and let's get as skinny as possible.
Being as tiny as possible. Like it didn't matter to have muscle. It was just like I want to be tiny and have a flat stomach and like
Like
still kind
negative
of have
zero
a
body
butt.
fat.
Well, I still wanted a butt, but
Makes
tiny
sense.
thigh. Girl, like
Right.
flat as a board, like both ways. It was like, oh, my booty's growing, and then I put on a pair of jeans, and it's like, where?
Just
Like, are you like Delulu?
yes. And you know, I I'm like going in so many thoughts here because I know we need to like wrap up soon, but like when you start your health journey, just like when I have people slide in my DMs and they're like, I just started Orange Theory and I love it, I
Yeah,
am not going to yuck your yum. I work really hard doing that. I'm not going to be like, quit Orange Theory. It sucks, right? No, I'm not. If you really enjoy something, stick with it, keep doing it. You'll find your way to something that's maybe a little bit healthier for you. It works better for you. The same way when people come to us, like I've had because of Black Friday deals right now, I've had a lot of women like, hey, I've been watching you. And I ask them, oh, what are your goals? And they're mainly weight loss. I'm never like, bad. No weight loss, right? Because we had the body positivity movement come in and they're like, love your body any size. I agree to a degree, right?
I think that's
But
valid, totally. But I also think that like everybody has their own feelings.
yes, yes,
We can live in a world where both exist.
yes, totally agree. So if getting you to talk to a coach, to start exercising, to whatever, is mainly superficially focused, like thigh gap, whatever, or body weight focus, that is okay because over time, just like Allie and I, you will develop better, more significant goals, whether it's okay, I want to like learn how to squat, I want to pick up heavy weight, I want to get ready for childbirth, whatever it is, you're going to have your goals change over time. So don't feel like, I can't have a weight loss goal, right? I think that's great if you have any type of goal that's going to benefit your body in some way. Just like for a while, my goal kind of fluctuates between like, I want to get jacked. And speaking of that, like I fall into the trap. If you think we don't fall into the trap of like wanting to look smaller, I fall into the trap of like, when am I ever gonna look jacked? Like that's my trap.
Barely
But
texted me about your like thoughts not getting bigger, and I'm like, well, now we're on the other side of it because it's like we're looking at all of these like bodies on
yes,
Instagram, and I'm like, are we
yes,
sure we're not being hard on ourselves? Just as
I
the
know.
same way we might be being hard on ourselves, we're like, I want to look smaller, and it's like, okay, like that is valid, but are we being hard on ourselves? And like as
Yeah,
coaches, it doesn't mean like we don't get these like human experiences. Like
yeah,
we're still gonna compare. We're still gonna think, some days we're not where we want to be.
yeah,
But, I like how you said, like, it's okay to have superficial goals because you said this before, but if that gets you in the door, if that gets you to message somebody to work with, I love that because you can come to us and want to lose weight. but we can teach you to do it in a way that is healthy, that is
Yep.
not restrictive. In that
Yep.
process, we can repair your relationship with food. We can
Yep.
teach you about a healthy metabolism. We can watch out for different, kind of warning signs. This,
Yep.
if you're not sleeping well, if your cycle's kind of getting a little dodgy, we can be there to say, fat loss is your goal. I'm going to support you. I'm also going to make sure that we do it in the healthiest way possible. So you can live in both worlds. And I mean, for myself, that's something that I'm currently working on. Like, I am working on a fat loss goal, but I'm not in that stage right now. I am in a
Mm-hmm.
stage where I needed to get my metabolism back into a good place. I'm eating more, but I'm in
Mm-hmm.
this phase so that I can lose weight
Mm-hmm.
easier. And if I had a shitty coach, or if I wasn't knowledgeable, I would be fighting my body, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know, if I didn't have this knowledge, if it was, however many years ago, I wouldn't be doing the right things. And I would be stuck saying, why am I not seeing change? What the hell is happening? Versus now, this is the stuff that we can teach you, which is like, again, whatever gets you in the door, whatever gets you to send that message, we can then guide you and support you.
Yeah. And how many times have you gotten one of those clients and 3 months in, they're like, I don't even care about the scale anymore because I feel awesome.
Yeah.
So many times. Or you have clients that want to lose weight and you do a reverse diet with them where you slowly increase their metabolism, eat more food, and they reach their weight loss goal and they're like, oh, that was kind of like, I wasn't expecting that. We've been eating more food. Like
Like,
it's such a
I
cool
could,
thing to
I could
happen.
keep eating more. Like, I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
keep dieting, and I'm like that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. It's so cool to get to like witness live, like seeing women overcome that bad relationship with food, because
Yeah.
everybody, I think, my fitness pal, the word is very triggering for so many people, because, and I get
Yeah.
it, because for me it was toxic, for you it was toxic, but I use it and rebrand it in a way for my clients that this is a tool. Tracking your food is a tool. Doesn't have to be for everybody. It doesn't have to be for forever, but it can give us lots of information. And like, you can track your Oreos if you want to have some Oreos after dinner. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just giving us
Mhm.
data. So I
Mhm.
think at the times, like, when people think about wanting to lose weight or wanting to keep weight off, and they're like, I've tried everything and it was crazy and it was restrictive, that sometimes it can also feel, you know a little intense to be like, oh, we can track food and repair a relationship with food and do all these sorts of things, and they're like, fuck it, I don't even know where to start, this is too complicated.
Mhm.
And we do a good job in like bringing women through the experience and guiding them. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to overwhelm a client. We're going to focus on
Mhm.
one step at a time. Like, if you think about,
Mhm.
you can go 5 minutes longer. I just checked my phone so we can stop.
Okay.
This is good. Um, but if you right now could talk to Maddy, gymnastics, eating 500 calories, if you
Mhm.
told we can eat more food and we will end up eating more food, and our goal is going to be strong, and like, we're going to be in a healthier place, how do you think she would respond?
I mean, even in my like early 20s, if you said eat more food, I was like, oh, I was terrified, you know? So
Oh,
I think I would be like, okay, I'm not sure. Like, but the concept of a coach wasn't even a thought to me, right? I
no,
had a
it
gymnastics coach, but like a health coach,
yeah,
what?
I don't. And I feel like, health, online, it really started in like 2013, and like, I was on Instagram, and I had like a fitness account, where I would like show my workouts or different shit like that. But I was so unaware of the concept that like you could hire somebody to like help you.
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah.
that? Like,
Literally.
so I don't know. I mean, I feel like, even if you felt like, do you think do you think that version of Maddy would have believed you? And obviously it's like just like a hypothetical, but do you think where you were in that state, she would have
No,
believed? Yeah.
no, I was just so mentally like I was like trauma bonding with other girls going through the same
Yeah,
thing. So like
totally.
when you have, like just like think about like you have clients now or potential clients where they're like, well, my friend was doing this diet, so I did it. Or I had a girl tell me one time she couldn't sign up with me because her friend gifted her like a 30-day detox and they were gonna do it together. And I remember I like messaged her like maybe 20 days later. I was like, hey, like, how's it going? And she was like, oh, I couldn't keep up with it. It was so bad. I'm like, I could have told you that. I mean, I basically told you that, but I didn't want to be like, don't do it. I was let her, you have to
I
learn for yourself.
you have to learn for yourself totally because
Yeah.
again, like, little Maddie, little Allie, or people in the world that are doing things, they're not gonna believe us.
No.
Oh yeah, you gotta go through shit to like be like, oh, that didn't work. Um, and it's crazy. I interned at this like athletic training center, and they had a 6 week like sprint, and it was like a detox, and like week one
Uh,
you couldn't eat this, week two you couldn't eat this, etc. And like people
uh,
were dropping weight like nobody's business. And I'm sitting around, and this is when I'm like in like I was a senior, and this I was like in my hot girl era, like I was educated, I was actually
oh,
working with
girl. Yeah.
I was working with clients part time, like
Wait,
I
pause real quick. You were
yeah,
still in your hot girl era. I can't, you're still in
thank
your
you.
hot girl era.
Thank
There
you.
we go.
Oh, I love that. Reaffirmed. But I was in like that was the start of my hot girl era and like educating myself and like having a really good relationship with food. I was literally in a bulk like senior year of college, like for a
Ooh.
portion. When I would have never wanted to do that, like even junior
Ooh.
year. The thought would have been like, ah. So like
Uh-huh.
I was slaying. And so I'm like sitting here in the office. I'm like getting read like I was writing like plans to like go work with like the athletes and like I had a little like mentor guy that looked over everything and I'm sitting at his desk and I'm like overhearing these conversations and I was like, what in the fuck is happening at this establishment? Who said this was a good idea? And you know what they had? They had a registered dietitian sitting a couple seats over from me doing the little sprint. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is going on here? We're not having green apples because there's too much sugar.
And this is a grade A example why just because you are an RD doesn't mean you are actually equipped to help people. The amount of
Yep.
times I've had people like, well, I'm going to have my doctor help me first, or, well, I'm going to have, you're not an RD, so I can't work with you. And I'm like, okay, well, for starters, an RD, their credentials, I'm sure they are. I know so many RDs that are very well equipped and are work with eating disorders, whatever.
Yeah.
They can write meal plans. Guess what? I would never, also, we cannot legally
Yeah.
write meal plans, but I would never do that
But I would
anyway.
never. Yeah.
I told so many clients before they work with me, I'm like, I do not write meal plans because I can't, but also I would never because that doesn't teach you anything.
Yep.
An
Yep.
RD can do that, but also, just like any other shitty fitness coach, they can also tell you not to eat freaking what would you say, green apples because there's too much
Apple.
sugar. Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
was
because they're an
like,
RD.
what in the fuck? And I actually said to her, I was like, this is like really intense. Like, why? Like, and there was like a cash prize. So like, of course, and this is like a pretty hardcore, like it was like a training facility, like athletes would come in, but it was also a gym. And
Mhm.
it was just such a bro science like vibe. And I was like, this is crazy. This is craziness of like what you're teaching people. And it's like,
Yeah,
no alcohol, no this, no that. Okay, that's good. Like, yeah, take a break from the alcohol, but
yeah,
you can't have a sweet potato or green apples or like other. I'm like, what is this teaching? This does nothing. This
yeah.
literally does nothing because after you stop doing like a quote unquote detox, and
Mhm.
yes, if you are listening to this, certain health protocols require a detox. fat loss does not require a detox. Okay. You do not
Correct.
need that. Like they do not need to like be paired together. But like if you start to do this, fat loss detox and you can't eat certain things, it's like, so now I stop the detox, I gain the weight back, I start to think that apples are the problem because I've
Yep.
introduced apples into my life, and now we're in a worse position. And so
Yep.
it is hard for us as coaches who have experienced all the shit that are on the other side of it to help you see that certain extremes are not needed. Sometimes you do have to go through them, unfortunately, but we're also there to be on the other side of it and say, I get it. Like, I have tried what you have tried, I've done the extremes. So now where you're in a place where you're open and willing to be like, hey, I want to try something different, we get it. So there's no judgment. There's no like,
Mm-hmm.
man, you fucked up. It's like, I get where you're coming from because, like,
Because we've
I've been
done
there.
it.
Yeah, I
We've
can like
done it.
picture
We've seen it.
Maddy in the little alley, just like being like, yeah, we've been there. And so that's I believe a really wonderful thing that we've done with our lives and with that experience. Like we brought it into a way where now we get to really make a change and help other women that are doing all the crazy things. And we get to come from a place of love and not a place of like, man, that's crazy. You did that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nobody wants to be judged.
No, and like our goal isn't to judge women and for your
Never.
actions because like we've been there. I don't know how times to say that we've been there.
Girl, we've
We
done the crazy shit.
Yes, yes. We just want you guys to make better decisions than we did. And I can't remember, it's probably been repeated by so many different people, but like one of the best ways to learn is through others' mistakes. So you don't have to go through that pain. So I love doing that, whether it's like business, finances, like whatever it is. Like I want to learn from other people so that I don't have to like go through the pain they went through to learn that hard lesson. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing that, we're trying to do is stop people from making, bad decisions with their health. Um, let's go
I,
closing thoughts because you have to go.
here we are with like, I told Maddie, I have a hard stop. And then I'm like, but I love
And
this conversation. But I
I
really do.
know,
But I need to go to the store with my mom. So like we do have a hard stop because we're making like all the gluten-free stuff for Thanksgiving.
fun.
Like because like your girl wants to have things that I can actually eat and not feel like restricted because there's nothing I can't eat. So, anyways,
Love that.
closing thoughts. Your goals are allowed to change. Always. Always, always, always. You do not have to be in the state of chronically wanting to lose weight. In fact, it is the best thing possible for you to lose weight and then to start to eat more food. And in the process of that, you're not going to gain weight if you're doing it the right way. But your goals are allowed to change. They should be evolving. What you wanted at 15 should not be what you want at 28. Your body is
Yeah.
different. You're in a different place. And so remind yourself of that. If you're home, like at your parents' house, or if you're, going through old clothes, you're doing different things and you're like, oh, these pants from college don't really fit me anymore. I need to diet. Throw the pants out. Your goals are allowed to change. Your body is allowed to change. Period. And that doesn't mean you're unhealthy.
Love that. I was thinking when you said that because, like you said, your goal at 15 should be the same at like 25, 30, whatever. Just like think about your choice in like a partner, guy, girl,
Yeah.
whoever, right? Think about if you were with your first boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, think about if you married that person, how toxic that would be, right?
R.I.P. to my soul.
Literally, that's why it's healthy to change and have a different goal, and it's going to take you further in life just like a partner would, and you'll be so much happier. And just because you have a weight loss goal, it's not a bad thing. It's going to develop as you find different things to work on. So allow for that growth. Don't judge yourself. If you want to lose weight, you're totally allowed to want to lose weight. And just make sure you're supported with that, whether it's a doctor, that's fine, a coach, a therapist, whoever. That's going to help you get to that growth faster. If you're like, I don't want to just lose weight, I want to feel other things but I don't know how to get there, get someone to help you get there. That's the best way to go about that.
Yes,
Yeah, I
I
think that's
agree.
it.
I agree. And the last end of that, we go to school for a majority of our life, and then all of a sudden we stop. And at that
Mm-hmm.
point, we get into our mind that we don't need help anymore, when that could
Mm-hmm.
not be further from the truth. You're never too old to ask for help, invest in yourself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just keep that in the back of your head. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching to Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us so we can reach more women just like you. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you can stream podcasts. If you have a burning question about life, friendships, health, and 1 or 2 cents, email us at kindahotpod@gmail.com. That's KINDAHOTPOD@gmail.com. We would love to include this segment, so make sure to ask us your burning questions. That's it. Bye, guys.